So I won't even waste any time. Um, the world is ruined. There's no coming back from this. There's starting over, but even then, that's like nothing. Um, and scaring you guys is not really my intention here. It's more of making you realize what's actually happening. It's very late. I can't sleep. Um, not after what I realized what was going on. There's no way I could sleep. Um, so something that I've kind of been, um, just been thinking about a lot is what's wrong with the world. Uh, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. There's so much stuff that is wrong with the world. But the breaking point, why I've decided to make this video, is because pedophiles have been given immunity now. They've been given immunity. They've been given the ability to be in children's sports, their locker rooms, and it's not okay. There's no reason why anyone in the world should think that this is okay. So they're disguising themselves as part of the LGBT community and whatever. You're LGBTQ, whatever, just whatever. But the trans, I could be wrong. But it's what I'm gonna say is true to an extent of being the age might be slightly off. I'm gonna try and give an exact age, but it's probably not going to be. So there is a transgender. I believe they're 45-ish, 45 in their 40s. That identifies as a 16-year-old female and is on sports teams and going in their locker rooms. That is not okay. There is no reason for that to ever be okay in this world. There's no amount of lies that you can make up. No stories that you can tell that for that to ever be okay. That is literal insanity or deception that people want you to believe and make you think that it's okay. It's not. It will never be okay. It will never, I would say never exist, but it exists now. In a good world, that would never exist. But it does now. So that's my breaking point. Knowing that, well, here, let me address this first. A lot of you might say, I say a lot of you, there's no one watching these or listening these. There's no one even here. A lot of you out there, not listening, but a lot of you out there will go, if they're not doing anything, then what's the problem? The problem is they are doing stuff. There are so many things. There's stories, there's news lines. There's not a lot, I'll be honest. But it still happens. An analogy, if I could think of one quick, which most likely won't happen. I'm not good with analogies. Some of you might know this. The 3 people that have watched any of my videos, which are, I'm gonna be honest, 2 of them were me, I think. I don't know if that's how that works, but anyways, an analogy, if I can think of one, would be something like, so say that there's a refrigerator brand that now everyone has. And it is exploded just spontaneously. Let's say 3 out of 100 times. And people are just saying, it exploded 3 times. It's fine. 3 out of 100, it's a 3% chance. But then now you're thinking, how many households are in an area? More than 100. So in a small city, there's what? I want to say somewhere around, I don't know, 4,000 houses. So that would be what? 12 explosions in a small city? Which I don't know what the technical term for a small city is, but I don't care. That's, or would it be 120? I don't know. So 3 math. Yeah, I'd say 120. That's probably what it is. 120 explosions, fridges that have spontaneously combusted. You're not gonna want to keep that fridge. You're gonna want to find another one. You're not gonna want to ignore that and go, it's alright. Mine will be different. You're not gonna want to do that. One, that's how racism started. And that's why it will always exist. I'm not saying racism is right. No. Racism is completely different. Because what I'm saying about the pedophiles being allowed in with the children is that if they're not mentally sane, there's a whole bunch of stuff we can go into. Again, don't care. My opinion. If they're not mentally sane, they shouldn't, one, be allowed near children. They shouldn't be allowed to have children if they're not mentally capable of taking care of themselves. If they don't know reality from whatever world they're living in, if they think that they're 15 when they're actually 45, that is not how math works. You cannot be born 45 years ago and be 15. That is not how that works. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate on this. Don't care. Being a Christian, that's kind of the job description. Spread the word, be hated, be killed. That's it. I believe it's called being a martyr. I believe. I could be wrong. I don't know. I know a lot of Christians die for the faith, and I've been scared of sharing it, and that's probably why a lot of things have been happening to me. Don't be scared to share your faith. My last video was who knows how long ago. Video? This is a video. Did I spell problems right? Okay, sorry. I'm looking at my recording. Anyways. So that's just one problem. Second problem is people are picking meaningless fights. They're hurting others physically, mentally. And there's no reason to fight. You're fighting because one person said that this was happening and you would just believe them. With this, I'm talking about feminism. Feminism is not equality. You're not fighting for equality. You're fighting for females to be dominant over males. Which, alright, I can see where you're coming from, but a lot of feminists, say that they're fighting for equality. That is not what it is. Feminism is trying to get rid of all masculine presence in America. Well, anywhere really, but again, specifically talking about America, so. Some points that I saw Okay, first of all, the most obvious point is the double standards with feminism. Men can't have standards, women can. Doesn't make sense. That's not equality. That's, again, well, feminism, not equality. It's like egalitarianism or something like that. I don't know. That's like when they're fighting for true equals. Which, I mean, that's what I believe in. True equals. Not one have more power than the other. Yes, men will always have more power than females because, one, they're physically stronger. And yes, there's some that are physically stronger. Some females that are physically stronger than some men. Yes. But if you take the world's strongest female against the world's strongest natural female, the world's strongest natural man will always beat the world's strongest natural female. Natural, I mean like no any performance enhancing, no none of that. Let's see. There's the whole like dating preferences, whatever. The wage gap. One of the top dogs for voting against the female wage gap, which it doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't. So what I saw was someone was talking to whoever the top dog was, I don't remember, or one of the top dogs, for fighting against the female wage gap, which again doesn't exist. Was the person that was saying that it doesn't exist said, what data do you have? Do you have any data for hourly gender pay gaps? They did not have any data for that. What they had was full-time females against full-time males, and full-time females did not work as long as full-time males. So they were going based off of the annual salary. So say females work 30 hours a week and males worked 40 hours. There's obviously going to be a pay gap there. Because you're missing 10 hours a week. And feminism also talks about, what is it? It's men have more rights, or more rights in like job spaces, which is another thing for the whole like job inequality thing. But you don't see females working on oil rigs. I mean, one, I wouldn't want a female to work on an oil rig. It's too dangerous. I don't know what that means for me. It says about me. I don't know. Men are tougher. Men can take a lot more damage. I guess men are more like steel and women are more like wood, I guess. Not that, I mean, there's holes in the analogy that I just said, but you can beat on a piece of steel with a hammer. Yeah, there would be dents, marks, stuff like that. The longer you hit it, the more it breaks down. But wood breaks down faster with a hammer. So my point is, men are more resilient than women. That will always be the case. As long as like we're talking about equals standards, we're not talking about like 6'4" female versus like a 3 foot male. That's not fair. Or a 81-year-old male versus say 36-year-old female. That's not fair. So not just, yeah, it's equality, but there's going to be some differences regardless. There's literally nothing you can do about it. Another thing that I saw was veganism. Veganism doesn't make sense to me. Because science has proven that plants have feelings and they can feel and they scream, just not audibly to where our human ears can hear it. Plants bleed. They scream. They think. They breathe. They have veins. So, I mean, they're not too different from animals. So, I mean, no. Uh, Animal abuse is not right. It will never be right. Breeding animals just to kill them and use part of them, not right. If you're breeding animals using all that you can, that's fine with me, because you're not wasting any of it. So what I mean is like raising cows, butchering it only for the hide and throwing out the meat. That is a waste, and you should not be doing that. Fur farms, just discarding the carcasses after, that's not fair. To anything, really. So, I mean, I want you guys to debate me in the comments. Don't get me wrong. I want you to. So, I wouldn't say fight. Don't yell. Just debate calmly, because we need to talk in this world. There's too many pointless fights, physical fights. Not enough talking, discussions, none of that. We definitely need more. That is something that this world, specifically America, is lacking nowadays. I'm trying to think of anything else. I got the brunt of it. I mean, I know that there's more. I guess what I can say, this isn't necessarily a problem, but the whole thing of differences in religions. Again, not saying this is a problem, but Muslims read the Quran, which isn't too different from the Bible. There are a lot of stuff that are different, like they believe in just Jesus instead of Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit, which is the best analogy for you guys to understand is it's 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Not 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3 gods. It's 1 God. Think of God like the 4th dimension. You physically cannot wrap your head around it. There's no way to perceive it at all. There are people who claim to be, I think it was Black-haired Scientist. They said that they have a theory about it, and I don't think that's actually true. I don't know why, I just have a feeling it's not right. Then again, it could be. I don't know. I'm not in that kind of like degree yet. I don't have a degree in physics or quantum physics. So, maybe it is true. But even then, it's more of something that we cannot perceive in this world. So that's why the closest thing is a simple math problem. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1 God. It's not like schizophrenia. Although, yeah, it's not necessarily comparable, but I mean, you can say it is if it helps you believe that it's just 1 God. I mean, then again, it's still wrong. That's like saying a bagel with salmon is a fancy dish just because a salmon was from out of country or whatever. It's not a fancy dish. It's not like it's just not. I don't know how to tell you. Sorry, my mouth is dry. I'm not used to talking this long. Especially, I'm not even used to being up this late. I've been trying to sleep earlier recently, which that's not been too good. Also, another thing is self-care is not something that's been going on too well. I mean, mine is just stuff that I cannot control. I cannot control stress in my life, unfortunately. It's not something that I can control at the moment. Well, yes, there are parts of it that I can control, but I can't control enough to where it would do anything. Because a lot of my stress are work related, and I kind of have to deal with it just because if I don't, then I have no way of taking care of me or my family. So, Regardless, there will always be stress in your life, no matter what religion you're from, no matter what your ethnicity is, no matter if you're poor or rich. Yeah, you can hide it with a whole bunch of stuff. Like me, I had my problems with video games. That's why I have my second gaming channel. Which I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it. I don't care. Oh well. But I enjoy playing games. Yeah, non-Christian games. Oh well. Not that. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Christian games aren't all too fun. I mean, there's just one that I'm really hoping for. It's like you get to walk around in Bible times. It's like Assassin's Creed, but like Bible, and looks sick. I know. Don't just shush. Just because it's a Bible does not mean it's going to be bad. That's like saying just because this one actor's in a movie means that it's going to be bad. It's not. Like that's not how things work. Just because I mean, then again, you can be very prejudiced against the actor. So, you can go, oh, saw that guy, it's ruined. But I mean, there are people like that. There's a whole bunch of people like that about religion. And the sad truth is, it happens more than you might think. And it's not cool. But, like, what are we going to do about it? We cannot control everyone. It's just not a thing. That's the whole point of free will, is not being able to control people. The whole, like, people can do whatever they're going to do, how they're going to do it, whenever they want to do it. Just, yeah, I don't know how to explain it anything better. Like, I'm not good at explaining, like I've said before. Not to mention, again, playing the game. So, kind of distracted. I'm trying not to be distracted. So, then again, I like Call of Duty, which, yes, that's the non-Christian game that I was referring to. No, it is not Christian. Yes, it is about, not necessarily murder, which I would like to speak up again about that. Because people think that killing and murder are the same thing, when it is not. Because murder is killing with vengeance, selfishness, greed, or anything like that. It is... So, in the Bible, it's thou shalt not kill, which is... I believe the original translation was thou shalt not murder, or like the wrath. So, thou shalt not kill, which is supposed to be thou shalt not murder, and it is murder is killing with greed or evil intentions, I guess. Because you can have just intentions, like to save your family. I would say that is justified. And yeah, I know a lot of Christians won't believe with me, but then again, I'm going with what God says, not with what the world says, which is what a lot of people should do. Because like I've just been dealing with is all of these Christians believe in the same thing, yet they want to pick and choose what they actually want to believe in. So they say that they're Christians, but they only want to believe in part of the Bible that helps them be right in the world, and it's just not fair. Because that's not how the Bible works. That's not how God works. That's not how Christianity works. It's just all wrong. Because if you're going to believe in something, don't do it half-heartedly. Do it wholeheartedly. Believe in all of it. You're not going to read a book, one chapter, and go, oh, that was the best book ever. You're not going to play a game for 10 minutes and go, yep, I'll play that game for the rest of my life. You're not going to make an investment based off of one sentence that they say. And I'm not talking about, like, a very detailed sentence trying to get you to... I'm talking about like 7 words. 7-word sentence, like the basic sentence that they get you to write in, I was gonna say high school. No, elementary. Elementary school. So, my point is, the world's broken. It cannot be restored. It can be salvaged. Because all the stuff that is going on will now happen forever until the end of the earth. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, you don't have to be perfect in order to be a Christian. I'm not perfect. I have tons of sin. I sin a lot. Do I try to sin? No. Yes, it does happen naturally because that's what we were kind of born into. There is nothing that you can do to be perfect. Once you stain silk, you can never get it undone. Unless you have bleach, which bleach doesn't work anyways, but we're going to say that bleach works perfectly and gets every stain out. So we're going to say Jesus is the bleach, not God, Jesus. No, they are not different people. Yes, they're the same. Just hear me out. So, say your life is a silk robe. Actually, we're going to use a meme for this. Say your life is a Valentino white bag. And sin is lipstick. So every time you sin, you spill lipstick in the Valentino white bag. And God takes it, scrubs it. Jesus, sorry. I gotta learn that when I'm doing one of these videos, for people that don't understand what I'm talking about, I gotta be more specific. Jesus takes that Valentino white bag, scrubs it clean, good as new. There are no more stains on that, and he will do that forever until you no longer want to receive his gift, till you no longer want him to clean it. That gift is everlasting life. He'll forgive your sins as long as you want him to. You want him to forgive your sins? Good. But now, the thing is, it's not a one-way relationship. Yes, I'm going to repeat a whole bunch of stuff that I said in my other videos. But a lot of the time, people think, and I'm not calling anyone specific out, but the only people that come to mind, which I'm probably wrong about, are Catholics. Like old Catholics. I'm not talking about old people. I'm talking about like the older versions of Catholics, where it was even early Jews, where they would sacrifice an animal. Being a Christian means hating evil. Yes, thou shalt not hate, except for evil. There's the only exception. Yes, there's probably a better way to say it, because I might be contradicting something, but the Bible never contradicts itself. There's not one single contradiction in there. But back to what I was saying, Jesus gives everyone a gift, and it's up to you whether you receive it or not. The gift itself is scrubbing the bag clean, brand new. So it's a brand new life, perfectly pristine, no sin, no lipstick, no nothing. But the catch is, you have to want that gift. You can't just go, yeah, I want to go to heaven. You have to want to be with. You have to want to receive the gift by Jesus. You can't go, yeah, I want to receive the gift. You have to go, yes, Lord, I believe in you. I want to be with you. I will worship you all my days. Which, I'm not even gonna lie, yes, I know a lot of people would go, well, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. Well, think of it like an everlasting roommate. I don't know the best way to do it in this kind of like analogy. Sorry, again, late voice. It's almost 4 a.m. So the best way I can put this, and I can refine it later, the analogy that is on Craigslist, you have two listings. I don't know how Craigslist works. I don't know. For looking for roommates, you have God, and then you have the world. God, bare bones. You have like the basic necessities. But he will do anything you want. You just ask, he'll do it. Or you have the world. Has anything you could ever want. But once you leave, all of that's gone. Once the world leaves, he takes everything with him. You are left with no necessities. He takes all of the food, all of the furniture, does not pay any of the electric bills or water bills. You are left in an empty room to pay for everything yourself. And think of it as not really paying for it, but more of working it off. And it's one of those things where you work it off, but you have to take loans to pay it off. You have to pay it off, but then the loans keep stacking up, so you're going into further debt. But God still has his listing up. So you're with the world. You're living with the world. The world is now gone. The world has forsook you. Fortook you? What? I don't know. Whatever the word is. The world has forsaken you. They left, took everything. God's post is still up for you to accept. Keep in mind, everything that you need, not that you want, that you need, God has and will give to you. But you have to want to be with him forever. Because if you plan on being with the world forever, you're going to die with the world. But if you're planning to live with God forever, you will live with God forever. Because when the world dies, you die. Because God will never die. God is everlasting. God is immortal. God was here in the beginning. Again, please debate me on the comments. I can prove all of this stuff. I say all of it. I cannot prove the fact that world will have everything that you need or want. I can't prove that. And I cannot prove that God won't give you the stuff that you want. I'm blessed to have my setup right now. I would not be doing this right now if I wasn't blessed to have it. My family, I'm so grateful to still have them. There are so many rough times. And I know it's not as bad as the next guy. But it's not as great as I would want. But then again, wants come last. Needs come first. Other people's needs come second. So, did I say needs? Wants. Let's see. So not a tier list, but like a step list. So it's your needs. This is what you're supposed to take care of. You're supposed to make sure that you have your needs. Because you cannot help anyone if you cannot help yourself. Then it's other people's needs. So you can help them figure out what they need in their life so they can help others. Then it's their wants. So you can help them. So you help them just through hard times. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Whenever I get a paycheck, it's usually less than, I want to say 25% of it goes to me. Most of it goes to my friends and family. I'm not even, I might be stretching the truth a little bit. It might be like 50% goes to me and the rest goes to everyone else. But I don't think it's even that much. I think that's too high, in my opinion. Because I know that I spend a lot on my family. I know that I spend a lot on my friends. I spend more on my family than I do on my friends. Which, to be fair, I live with my family, so... Anyways. If I didn't finish anything, like talking about anything that you want me to talk about more, let me know in the comments. I will try and share this anywhere I can. Then again, can't share this a lot, just because I'm stupid and don't know how to do anything. Yeah. I'm gonna stop talking now before I completely lose my voice. I'm already starting to, because my throat feels like the outside of a tree. Anyways, thanks for listening. Please debate me in the comments. I'm not even lying. Do it. I'm not commanding you, but I would appreciate if you debated me in the comments so I can help you understand why why I'm so adamant about this. Talking about this has made me feel better. You can tell by my voice at the start and the voice now. I'm much more calm now. And now that I've been talking for almost 40 minutes, I do feel like I can finally rest tonight. This morning, I guess, is what it would be. But I would ask that you do debate me in the comments. If you have any questions, ask. You can ask me. I cannot promise that I will have the exact answer that you're looking for. I can give you my answer that I think would help. But then again, I don't know everything. You can ask God. Oh, really quickly before I leave. This is really important. God has, I wouldn't say made himself up. God wants you to challenge him. I'm not saying, oh, God, you think so? You're so powerful? Well, then give me this. No, it's more of, here's an example for me. So, one of my pets went missing. Haven't seen her for days. It's been like 3 days at this point. I finally went, God, I have my doubts. I've challenged you before, but I have my doubts now. So, to solidify my faith, let my pets come back to me in the morning. So the morning came. Let me be more specific. My specific words, I would say exact, but I don't think they're exact, would be, let my pet show up on the back door this morning, so that when I wake up, I can let her in. So when I woke up and went to the back door, no one was there. So I'm like, okay, oh well, maybe I wasn't right. But little did I know, my parents had already brought her in the house. It's been 3 days outside. At this time, we had a hurricane go through. We were having a hurricane go through, which is why I was so adamant about finding her. We were having a hurricane come through, and I was saying, please, Lord, let me find her. At least let someone say that they have her. No one found anything. No one even commented on any posts. No one saw anything. I called people. People said that they couldn't find anything. They thought that they saw my cat. Not it. Not my cat. It was like someone else's cat. But I challenged God. God provided. God proved he was real. So that's how I know God is real. I've challenged him once more. And this is the whole thing of like, one, I'm a huge nerd, so whatever. And yeah, no, not all of my beliefs line up with Christian beliefs, but that's because Christian beliefs have been diluted so much. And I'm not talking about in the Bible. I haven't read all the Bible, so I'm still working on that. Um, but from what people are telling me, there's just so much that I'm trying to figure out what's real and what's just people being controlling and whatnot. Like, oh, I don't like this stuff. I don't like, really, cartoons. I know some of them, but like, all TV show is evil? I don't think so. McDonald's is evil? Okay, I guess. Corporation, whatever. Anyways. God works in mysterious ways. So, I was like, alright, God. This was like way before when I was still contemplating if I was even wanting to be a Christian. Even then, I think I wanted to be a Christian, but I couldn't, like, I'm like, I wasn't sure if he was real at that time or not, but anyways. So I'm like, God, if you're real, I want to see a real life Eevee, which in case you don't know what Eevee is, it's like it's a Pokemon, it's like brown fox type thing. And I got exactly what I asked for. The next day, my friend sent me a picture of a realistic Eevee. I did not go on social media to look for it. Backtrack to when I said I wanted a realistic Eevee. I said in any way. Let me see a real Eevee. So I purposely, the next day, avoided social media, like what other people drew, what other people made, anything like that. So no YouTube videos, no Instagram posts, no Snapchat stories. I used Snapchat because my friend was talking to me, and that's the only reason why I use Snapchat, is to talk to friends. No Discord, none of that. The very next day, random time, not provoked, did not even talk to him for like a week. He goes, hey, look at this. And it's a picture of a real life Eevee. Like, I didn't ask him to. I didn't tell him to. I didn't tell him anything about Eevee. We haven't talked about Pokemon in years. Nothing. Just all of a sudden, boom. Anyways. Challenge God. I don't necessarily know if it's challenging. Test? Not test. I don't know. Someone in the Bible said, like, okay, God, if you're real, then I will put this cloth outside, and if the cloth is wet, then I'll believe in you. And it wakes up the next day, cloth is wet, and he goes, okay, well, that could have been dew. So then he goes, all right, Lord, I'm going to put this cloth outside, and if it's dry in the morning, then I'll believe in you. And then he goes, wakes up the next day, the cloth is dry, and goes, all right, well, it's probably just been not dry outside. Or it's probably been like dry. It has probably been dry outside, and that's why nothing is wet. So then he goes, all right, Lord, I'm going to put this cloth outside. And if you make everything else around it wet and the cloth dry, I will believe in you. So then it came, and I don't actually remember what happened afterwards. I gotta figure that out so I can kind of finish this little story thing. But what I believe goes on is he still doesn't believe him, and then God comes down, but God actually talks to whoever this man is, and goes, I've done all of this stuff. Why do you still not believe in me? You've said that if I did all of these things that you have asked, that you would finally believe in me. And yet I've done them all, and you have not believed in me. And you still do not believe in me. Which, I mean, I feel like if God is talking to you, how can you not believe him after that, right? But then again, I believe it was James in the New Testament who Jesus got upset at because he wanted to see Jesus instead of believing that Jesus has returned. So, anyways, that's all I'm going to do for now. I'm going to try and upload this. I can't promise anything. Again, debate me in the comments, please. I'm begging you, if you have any questions, to let me help. Because the extremely last thing I guess it would be the first thing. I don't know. Last thing. Usually the saying is the last thing I want you to do. But anyways, the last thing I want you to do is go to hell. I don't care who you are. Whoever's listening to this, last thing I want you to do is go to hell. So please debate me in the comments if you have any questions. If you have any concerns, any, not necessarily theories, but like points you want to go and like, oh, well, in the Bible it says this, but then you do this. So stuff like that. You know, the good old debate questions. Anyways, God bless you all. Thank you for listening, watching. Not that you. Why were you watching? I'm gonna be honest. Why were you watching? It's been this screen for 45 minutes now. Anyways, just thanks for listening. Yeah. God bless you all. Signing off.